And you have just crossed the line. End of debate. Report to the cargo bay and remain there until this is over. Is that understood?
Do you know what song I have in my head? Do you know that song Starry Night by Peggy Goo?
Starry, starry night.
No.
Yes.
Sunset, dun, dun.
What is
No,
mirror? What does mirror my video mean?
Ocean. Starlight. What?
Is that a bad
Mirror
thing?
my
Mirror
yeah.
my video?
I don't have mine on either, so I'm not sure what it does.
Yeah, I won't worry about it. I think it might just flip it around. Hey, let me ask you this, Miss Booby. You know how like last week you taught me how to share screen?
Right.
Can you share audio? Does that work? Like if I play something, will it pick up?
It may. I'm not 100% sure.
Let's try it. Hold on. Guys, just talk amongst yourselves, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if I can try this. Let's just try it. I'm excited what's happening. Hold on. Okay. Do you hear that?
I don't
No.
hear anything.
Wow. Then it's just me.
I heard something that went and then
I heard a pop, 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 pop.
yeah, and then it was
Right. Well, no, I turned it off. Hold on. Okay.
Oh,
Hi,
cutie.
guys. There's Cutie Pie. She's saying hello. Shall we get this bumping?
Bring it.
Okay. Hello, Earthlings and Federation citizens. This is the artist intermittently known as Shadiamond. Welcome you to another episode of Fire Chakotay.
This is Miss Matinga.
And this is Booby.
That's right, bitch. Now, what episode are we talking about today?
Season 2, Episode 1, The 37s.
Oh, yeah, that's
We have begun the second season.
Is it the 37s? Is the number
37.
correct?
It is. I just fucking blanked out for a second.
37.
I literally just watched it again just to really freshen up because
I just watched it this morning.
Well, since you're fresh, why don't you guys kick it off? Because I actually forgot what episode we were doing until you just said that. Go for it.
Who,
Okay.
Matinga?
Anybody.
Well,
Y'all,
first of all,
listen,
I just want to say that I'm so ghetto that I couldn't find a piece of paper, so my notes for
On a
all three of the
paper
projects that we are doing today
you
is
have
on
to,
a paper plate.
it's on a paper plate. So for people listening and not seeing, Matinga has written notes on a paper plate.
Yes.
Matinga, you also did that about 8 months ago for an episode of Homework. Are you trying to tell me
Because I could not find any paper.
in 8 months you have not been able to find a piece of paper?
Well, listen, listen, yesterday.
A bitch got to do what a
I
bitch
had
got to
to bring
do.
a pen just to wipe my ass.
Yeah.
It's hard out here for a shrimp girl.
Okay, well, listen, paper plate or not, this is Mike Diamond,
This is Miss Matinga.
This is Booby.
and you are listening to Fire Chakotay, the most relevant Star Trek podcast in the universe. Am I right, guys?
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
right, honey.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
Reliant.
Hello.
Oh, that
See-
might be a different Star Trek.
Did you say Reliant?
The Reliant.
Deep cut.
Yes.
That's a Deep Space Nine cut. Okay, so we are covering what today?
So we are starting on the second season of Star Trek Voyager today. Today, we're doing the very first episode of the second season. It is entitled The 37s.
The 37s.
37.
right.
And our episode opens, as is per usual, with the Voyager just gamboling across the Delta Quadrant without a care in the world.
I think they got a lot of cares, but go ahead.
And for some reason, Tom Paris is like, I just noticed that there is rust out there in space. Somehow he was able to find some rust particles.
And Janeway's like, I just dyed my hair. Get off my back.
Janeway's hair was spectacular.
Well, that color is called space rust. It's a L'Oreal product. I'm guessing.
And Miss Janeway in her dry, way, she's like, rust in outer space with no oxygen. Let us investigate.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
And what do they find? Booby, what do they find?
They find a truck, a 1939 or 36 Ford.
Mhm.
Yes. Rusted out.
It looked pink.
Floating.
It looked pink to me. Was it pink?
No,
it
it was
red.
rusted. It was
It
completely
was rusted. Okay.
Rusted red.
Go ahead.
Now, mind you, a car from 1930s America just floating in outer space.
In the Delta
in
Quadrant.
The Delta Quadrant.
Right.
So, of course, they're like, what the hell? And I just want to say, Tom decides to try and start.
They bring
him into a shuttle bay.
Right, they bring the car on board the Voyager.
You're like, what the hell?
Ford was the name of the company that built it. Antique vehicles are a hobby of mine.
And they're of course, not only are they intrigued and they're turned out, but they're, Tom, as it turns out, happens to be a car aficionado, knows the make, the year, the everything, and even knows how to turn it back on.
Okay. Choke out, clutch in, give her a little gas, turn the key, and step on the starter.
Well, this is what I was thinking as I was watching it. When Tom Paris says, my hobby is antique vehicles, I was like, well, honey, let me push my panties over to the side, bitch. Get up on this antique vehicle. Okay, you pale, handsome motherfucker. Because I may be rusted, bitch, but my engine, she do still run.
Our podcast...
Gasoline.
Well, gasoline.
Well, pour a little gasoline in there and it's even better.
Bitch.
Our pod is definitely NYSFW.
NYS what?
FW.
NYSFW.
Not safe for work? Oh, I threw a Y in there. I don't know why.
Oh,
Why?
New York State fisting.
Why?
Miss Booby, what? Miss Booby, what? What?
Nothing.
You said New York State Fisting Fan Club? What?
That's what I thought it was.
For those listening to the podcast, I am wearing a very interesting T-shirt that can only be seen by Patreons, but it is quite interesting.
It's provocative.
It is provocative. That's why I keep on saying that our podcast is not safe for work.
And I'm wearing a gold lame caftan with turban to match. Booby?
Oh, you're also wearing a Star Trek shirt.
I am wearing my Star Trek Discovery shirt.
Really?
Disco, bitch.
Let's go.
Oh.
See,
I thought
Do
you meant...
you watch Discovery?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
My little
I have
caftan.
not watched Discovery, no.
Oh,
It's fabulous. Do you know what
I'm
Go ahead, Booby.
Why?
No, Booby, tell me your story.
No, go ahead.
So last night I was watching, one of the things he does is a Trek channel on YouTube. I think his name is Steve Sheaves. And he was doing like the 6 most underutilized, wasted characters in the Trek universe. And he was wearing this shirt. He was wearing our fucking shirt.
Word.
And I was like, yo, Steve, what up? By the way, the video was amazing. Can you guess
who one of the characters?
Well, guess who he thinks are the most underutilized characters?
Udo.
Underutilized Guinan, I would think.
Well, the most characters with the most wasted potential.
Q.
Yeah, Q kind of does what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
With the
Wasted
most wasted.
potential.
He went through like every series. Like who's most wasted on original series?
Who was wasted on the original series?
Uhura.
The Doctor. Oh my God, Uhura.
Uhura, yeah. And then next gen?
Wesley?
Who was wasted? No, Wesley was a waste.
He said Counselor Troy.
Really?
Oh, I guess.
Because, she's like a mental health professional. She's on the fucking bridge. She's an empath.
empath.
But all they do is make her look pretty and she never says nothing smart.
That's true.
And so on and so forth.
Sort of pretty. Not gored, but sort of pretty.
So it was an interesting video. And you know what? I'll put a link to it below. But this podcast is about us.
Miss Uhura, truly wasted character. I mean, if you read the books, yes, she taught at Starfleet and she eventually becomes an admiral and she does have a very lauded, incredible career. Miss Nyota. But on screen, because for the original crew, the Shatner, DeForest Kelley, James Doohan crew, she was my favorite character.
Yeah,
It wasn't Shatner. It wasn't Spock. And it was her because honestly, and many people have said it before, but she was the one when I was watching this television show as a little gay Puerto Rican kid, she was the one person of color on the bridge that I was like, oh shit. Like,
a sister.
And she has a name.
Her name. Her name.
I used to tell my mom, her name is Uhura, and my mom would go, Uhura? Uhura?
So, speaking of Uhura.
So, yes, wasted potential.
There we are in the cargo bay with a Ford
With
truck
the old Chuck.
and my baby daddy, Tom Paris.
And Tom is able to start this truck after 400 years in space.
And doesn't
Right.
he say something like, okay, he's like walking through the steps. He's like, okay, I'm going to choke it out. And I was like,
Put
yeah,
the
you,
key in
you better
there.
talk to me, daddy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so they, just by chance, Tom happens to turn on the radio in this
And
truck.
this old hag, too.
And he's turned on this old hag in her disco t-shirt. But he turns on the radio and discovers that there is a signal coming through the radio waves that they hadn't actually noticed because it's not a frequency that they would generally monitor.
And then what happens?
So they follow this signal to the origin of how this truck happens to be in the Delta Quadrant.
Well, don't they identify it as an SOS?
It is
an ancient SOS from Earth.
Ancient SOS.
Right. Okay. So, Miss Booby, what happens when they go down to the planet?
It's Janeway, Chakotay, Tuvok, Kim, and they decide to split into two teams. One team to check out where the SOS signal's coming from, and the other to check out another signal that they received. I'm not sure what the signal is. They discover it's a cave, and the team that Janeway is on discovers that the signal,
like
the SOS
team,
the A team, yes, is discovered that the SOS signal is coming from a plane, a 1930s plane,
Yes.
Right, sitting in the desert,
rust, getting all dirty and stuff.
Now they have found a plane and a truck.
Right. So they found a truck, they found a plane from another time, far, far away. They go into some cave.
Yes.
And there's like
So nearby the plane, they find that cave, and they go to explore the cave.
They find cryostasis pods,
like the kind that Walt Disney's head is in.
Right. Trust.
Yeah.
Where there's 8 people who are alive but in cryostasis.
Okay.
And one of them, Captain Janeway, goes to, and it's a female, and she looks at the nameplate on, just happens to have a name tag on, and it's A. Earhart.
Right. So it's dun 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 dun.
Amelia Earhart, who she knows right away.
Right.
But first she's like A. Earhart.
Amelia.
And there's like a Japanese guy.
And
right.
And an
who
older African American.
Right. Then you got like that Uncle Remus stereotype.
Right.
Black farmer.
We have Amelia Earhart's
navigator,
who's
Noonan.
an asshole.
Right. And 4 other people that don't get to speak, like an Indian lady and
that's right,
a guy with a beard.
Now, is it, just a quick question, is it that they discover 37 people in stasis, or they were all taken in 1937? Because if they found 37 people in stasis, they only speak to 4 of them.
It's for the year, because
it is the year.
They also say that there are other of these pods and chambers, but all of those people are dead. There's no life signs. This is the only one that has life signs. These 8 pods, but maybe there was
correct.
I think 500.
There could have been 37 of them.
Right, but there was something like 500 humans, but only these 8 in this one chamber lived.
Right,
and clearly the year is 1937. Because the car was a 36 and she disappeared in 37 or what have you.
Right.
So, boom, you got Amelia Earhart and Janeway and these people, and tension flares up immediately.
You're gasping.
Little piece of just Trek ephemera, nerdy ephemera, is that this is a trope in Star Trek, because in the original series Star Trek, there was the episode Space Seed, and that is where the original Enterprise encounters Khan, Noonien, and Singh, which were human beings put in stasis and sent out into outer space.
That's right.
Because of the eugenics wars.
I got some space seed. I went to Cape Canaveral and this man jerked off on my face.
Oh, no.
I'll talk about the Challenger explosion. What?
And then there is the episode of Next Generation called The Neutral Zone.
He wanted to touch my neutral zone.
Honey,
I said, you got to give me $10.
where like they meet like
I don't take Federation credit.
And blah 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 blah. But it's also people putting cryogenic stasis.
You got some Latinum player? Oh, I'm sorry.
So just saying, this is a Star Trek trope.
It's a trope.
It's a trope. Girl.
It's trope on a rope. That's what I told him. I said I came down here to Cape Canaveral to have myself a vacation, not to be harassed and molested by a wannabe astronaut. I'm sorry. Okay, reeling it back in.
Yeah.
Reeling it back in.
Yeah.
So they wake these people up. Oh, and first they make sure that Cass looks like a human being.
Right.
Which just meant covering her ears with her wig.
Covering her ears, yes.
Because they don't want to overly shock these people. They just want to wake them up and let them know, oh, it's 400 years in the future and you're 75,000 light years away from home. Right. Gag. And of course, they're dubious. And I should imagine thirsty. Can they offer these people water or like a crudité platter or something?
Cheese plate.
Yeah.
No,
just classy.
No food, no water, not a seat.
Just like right away, it's on. Okay.
Well, maybe those injectors that they put in their neck injected vitamins and minerals. And
that's
nutrients.
What that guy in Cape Canaveral told me. I said, you didn't put that in my neck or nowhere else.
Vitamins and minerals.
Mama, let it go.
That's what he whispered in your ear.
Mama,
let it go.
And I'm like clutching on, like, I ain't letting go of this dick till you give me that latinum. I yank it right off. Okay, so Miss Peggy Noonan, Miss Amelia's navigator person.
It's Sharon Lawrence.
Who
was in Police Academy.
Yes, he was.
Sharon Lawrence?
No, the
guy that played Noonan.
Fred Noonan.
Her navigator.
Oh, really?
He was in Police Academy.
He was a German.
Wasn't his name Dooley, not Noonan?
Noonan.
It is Noonan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like from the jump, somehow gets somebody's weapon.
He had it on him.
He had one.
Oh, he had one hidden.
They didn't search him.
Because he's white. Notice they only disarmed the Japanese dude. Okay.
Very well, I must say. Like, he just kind of like steps out. He's like, oh, can I get something to eat? Japanese guy's not upset at all. No, well,
he's a little bit. He's amazed that they speak Japanese because of the universal translator.
Right.
Exactly. So anyway, Miss Noonan, Miss Navigator dude has a weapon, disarms Janeway and her people, and he's like, fuck this. You're taking me right to J. Edgar Hoover, bitch, because I'm in the mood for some transvestite action. And they're like, no, fool, you don't understand. Okay, it's 400 years in the future, and you were busted ass drunk. And we got a starship right outside,
That's
motherfucker.
right, because he's taking the nips.
He's taking the nips. And Janeway's like, how about these nips? And the Japanese guy's like, who you call a nip?
Oh.
Anyway,
there's a gun pointed at the lady's head right now. So you call Washington and you tell them we're holding your people prisoner and they're not going anywhere until I personally talk to J. Edgar Hoover. You've got 1 hour. Captain?
It seems we're being held hostage, Commander. I suggest you pay attention to what the gentleman says.
I understand. Chakotay out.
At first, I was thinking, how is this guy subduing this incredibly, advanced group of Starfleet officers that should be able to kick ass like pretty easy. Now, they couldn't use the transporter, so I get it why they
because they're like way underground.
Well, but also there was like some weird energy in the air.
Dynamic energy.
But so Janeway sort of just allows herself to be taken hostage. I think she's kind of thinking of a longer game. She's thinking, trying.
And the ship is on the surface.
And the ship is on the surface.
They have landed
the ship.
They land Voyager.
First time.
The very first time they land the ship.
Right.
And it's a relatively easy endeavor. And I thought the special effects were meh.
They're okay.
All right.
A little out of scale.
Yeah.
Weird.
And so what's going on here? That's the thing. How do these people end up on the other side of the galaxy, and can they exploit it, the crew of the Voyager, to get home? And what happened was there was a race that you never see in this episode of Voyager called the Briori that kidnapped people from Earth.
Isn't that a skincare line?
Briori.
Oh, sorry.
They kidnap the people, 300 people from Earth, and bring them to this planet as cheap slave labor. All human beings, the slaves revolt, the Biori dash, and now they have built, these humans have gone from 300 to a couple
100,000.
Yeah, and they built like 3 settlements, 3 cities. These human beings that stay there, and the people that were left underground, they called those people the 37s. Those are the people that they were unable to wake up, and they consider them almost like
dead.
Not dead, yes, but also kind of like religious figures. What, you know, almost like they
not the Briori, the descendants of the slaves.
The descendants of the slaves, which are all human beings, were not able to wake up these particular descendants, and so they venerate them. They're venerated.
How did Voyager not pick up any trace of these cities or these humans on this planet?
That's what I was
because of the trinomic energy. The trinomic energy that they couldn't scan. They didn't know about the caves.
I think it's sloppy writing.
I think it's sloppy writing. He says the nearest settlement is 50 kilometers away, and there's 3 of them, and each of them have several 100,000 human beings. So they're able to find this one signal in a haystack and bring Voyager right to it. The
SOS coming out of the plane.
These cities filled with human beings?
Right. And the SOS was coming from the plane, from something powered by an alien fusion. And I want to say that this episode, Star Trek Voyager has a habit of using dialogue that includes the phrase, some kind of, it's some kind of this, it's some kind of that. There's a whole supercut on YouTube of like every instance of that. And this episode has like 7 of them. Yeah. Some kind of fusion, some kind of signal.
It appears to be some sort of mine shaft.
Some kind of power signature. This looks like some kind of cryostasis chamber.
It looks like they're using some kind of deflection system to trick our sensors.
It also, B'Elanna.
Yeah.
B'Elanna is always saying, it's going to take me about 20 minutes.
Right.
It always takes her around 20 minutes. Just when they need something immediately, she can't have it done.
Because she's on KPT, bitch.
She on what?
That's right.
Klingon people time.
That's right. Klingon people time, honey.
What?
I Miss B'Elanna. She's very like, you know, it's going to take me 3 hours. And the captain will be like, I need it in 2. And B'Elanna will be like, oh, no, if I say 3 hours.
I said 3 hours.
It's 3 hours.
You want to catch me outside, Catherine?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, B'Elanna would whoop her? The humans that are descendants from slaves, after coming around after a firefight, one of them named Evansville, and there's another one named Berlin. Clearly, they're named after places on Earth.
Right. Yeah.
Invites Janeway and her crew and the 37s to come see their cities, you know, to get a taste of what they got going on there.
And so it's lovely.
But we as the viewers never see the cities.
No.
We never see what it is that they've built. So it kind of deadens the impact of the choice. Should we go or stay? Well, I'm not really invested in it because I don't know what your city looks like. I don't know what you got going on there.
But that was probably like a budgetary concern.
Maybe. But they couldn't do like a matte painting?
Do a little matte backdrop? Yeah.
Painting. Yeah.
Matte backdrop. My new drag king name. Hello.
Matte backdrop. But she does say that it's technologically advanced, that they've done a lot, that it's quite beautiful. She does try and evoke that this is special places.
There's a thriving, sophisticated culture on this planet of human beings. In some ways, walking around those cities was almost like being back on Earth.
And I want to ask the two of you, would you have stayed or would you have continued on the voyage?
Booby.
Find a man.
Well, if I had loved ones to come back to at home on Earth, I wouldn't want to stay. If I was single,
that you're going to get back to them.
What happened?
There's no guarantee you're going to get back to them.
Right, but I'd want to try. You know, like what Kate Mulgrew is doing, trying to get her crew back there. If I ain't had nobody up on Earth and nobody up on, you know, any of the inhabited planets 75,000 light years away, I'd probably stay.
Well, I'm going to say that because I haven't seen what's on offer, like the cities, and I don't know what they mans look like, okay, in combination with the fact that me and Tom Paris, we got a thing going on, okay?
Horse manure.
I feel like whatever Tom Paris want to do, is what I want to do.
Gonna do?
Yeah.
That's
like
what I'm going to do.
protection.
Or he might, as he threatened earlier, choke me out. Okay.
Horse manure.
And so, but also, let's talk about the 37s who all decide to stay on the planet.
They all decide to stay on the planet.
Because the Japanese guy says, there are other Japanese
people. There are other Japanese.
I could be happy here.
Right.
Okay.
Ooh.
There are many Japanese here. I could be very happy.
And then you got unfortunate Uncle Remus.
Who could have a farm. Because the land is good.
Right. No backstory for him. Clearly nothing for him. Just land.
There is land here that goes begging. And I could have a big farm, just like I always dreamed.
And then, of course, Amelia Earhart and her drunk paramour decide to stay also. So whether I would go or not.
But Amelia's definitely like, she's kind of leaning toward the ship.
Well, because she's curious about it.
How fast?
Warp 9.9. In your terms, that's about 4 billion miles a second.
Think I could take her out for a spin?
Well,
But you know what? She would have been able to contribute nothing.
Nada.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
It's better that she stay on the planet. Yes, she's Amelia Earhart. Yes, she was an incredible person.
Legendary
in her time.
100 years ago.
They'd never be able to teach her to drive that ship.
No,
completely beyond her.
But she might serve some purpose. Who knows? And imagine the gag when they show up with her. Just for the gag.
With Amelia Earhart.
You see, she's with her.
Darling.
Can you imagine?
Like, guys, we were like taken off course, but look what we found. Okay. Amelia fucking
an old
Earhart.
truck and Amelia Earhart.
So the 37s want to stay. Janeway and Chakotay have this, powwow. Sorry,
But a
Chakotay.
really good scene.
A good scene. They have a powwow, as Chakotay's people would call it, in her ready room, her gigantic ready room.
And she got a private dining room too on this small little ship.
Right. And so she's like, I'm kind of gagging. I don't want anybody to leave.
Maybe this is one of those decisions that the captain has to make for the entire ship.
You may have a problem if a lot of people want to stay.
I know that. But at the same time, I can't take a vote every time there's a major decision to be made.
And they're going to all meet in the cargo bay at the appointed hour to see who's going to go and who's going to stay. And they're walking and talking, and they're like, who's going?
Who's going, who's staying?
And, Janeway says, well, I think Baxter's going to stay. And Chakotay's like, Alfred Baxter? How many Baxters do you have? You got 100 people on the ship. You ain't got Meredith Baxter?
Like 225.
Anyway, they go to the cargo bay. What happens?
Ain't nobody there, and it brings a tear to the eye. She's so touched by the fact that the whole crew wants to stay with her.
Yeah.
She looks over at Chakotay, and it's just it made me teary.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. She's really good in those last two scenes.
Yeah,
she's damn good because you could tell Heavy are the shoulders of command. And she's like, am I making...
And that bun got away like 40 pounds.
What? And she's like, am I making these people do that? And she realized she wasn't making them do that. That they all want to get home.
Yes, they do. Even B'Elanna. And B'Elanna ain't got no reason to go home.
That's right.
Huh.
She ain't got no reason.
Lala?
Mama?
Miss Lala?
Miss Lala.
As I call her. B'Elanna? Lala?
B'Elanna Torres.
B'Elanna Torres.
So in the final analysis, the fact that they find Amelia Earhart has almost no bearing whatsoever on the outcome of this episode.
Right. And I also feel like it was a missed opportunity.
That could have been anybody. They could have found...
It could have been Prince.
It could have been Prince. Exactly. It could have been anybody. Just some woman from Kansas up on that ship. Okay.
But it was nice. I mean, she, Captain Janeway was like, she had those little tender moments with her. Like,
I bet she wanted to.
Mm-hmm. She said, like, you're an inspiration to generations of women. And
how about we rub each other down with scented oils?
And
that's
scissor.
how we do in the 24th. And scissor away. That's how we do. Scissor, Chakotay.
Listen, I've got this 2-foot Leola root just sitting right here.
Covered in wax, bitch.
Let's both get naked.
Yeah, honey. Shit, you want to see my Bermuda Triangle and disappear for real?
Oh, for real.
For real.
I must admit the thought of traveling through space. maybe even learning to fly this ship. It was very appealing to me.
And I'd look forward to getting to know you better. I suspect we have a lot in common.
So on a scale of 5 fire chakotes, I'm going to give this episode 2. 2 fire chakotes from me.
I'll give it 2.5.
You know what? Just for Miss Kate Mulgrew's performance, which I really and genuinely was so into, I'm going to give it 3.5.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay, then.
She turned me out.
Yeah.
She turned me out.
Wow.
I was like, this bitch. You know what it is about Kate Mulgrew? I was watching this, and there were moments on the bridge, and then moments at the end where I was like, I totally believe she is the captain of the Star Trek Voyager.
Yes.
Like, it's that kind of performance.
Right.
I was like,
she's great.
Honey, she's giving me the realness.
I think the acting is stellar, no pun intended, across the board. Always on Voyager, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Harry's whatever.
Harry's always whatever.
Yeah.
Although somebody warned me in the comments, don't you come for Miss Harry.
Don't come for my Harry.
Well,
it was a guy named Tride. He's actually really cool.
Oh, he's trying, right?
Tride. Tried.
Oh, tried. He tried me, bitch.
He tried it.
Anyway, listeners, thank you once again for coming on board Fire Chakotay. We do appreciate you listening and or watching. And if you want to support us in our many endeavors, you can find us on Patreon. We are Workshop, WERQSHOP. You can also tip us on Venmo at
Workshop.
WERQSHOP Workshop. So, kids, we finish up another episode of.
And we sound bedraggled about it. Come on, honey, give us some pep, girl. Give me some dilithium crystal, bitch.
So, kids, we finished up another episode of Star Trek Voyager, and it just made me feel so cunty and alive. This is Matinga.
This is Mike Diamond.
And this is Booby.
Bye.
Bye-bye.